I did want to talk about what looks like the very real prospects for a viable peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine, and how especially establishment Republicans clearly have yet to understand what time it is. But if you've been with us since February 24th of 2022, when Russia first launched what they called their special military operation into Ukraine, you would know that this ending is exactly how we predicted it would end. And that's because there was simply no other ending possible, apart from sparking a full-blown World War III. And Putin always knew that. In the end, NATO would not do that. Neocon Republicans may be frothing at the mouth at such a prospect, but fortunately, cooler heads have prevailed. And I want to unpack that for you so that you fully understand what's really happening here. And just to be clear, as I've qualified over and over again over these last nearly 4 years, this isn't about being pro-Russia and anti-Ukraine. This isn't about spouting pro-Putin propaganda or any nonsense like that. This is about cold, hard geopolitical reality that both establishment Republicans and Democrats refuse to accept, but thankfully President Trump recognizes. So first, what is the latest proposed peace plan? The Trump administration's proposed peace framework would require Ukraine to surrender the entire Donbass region, basically the whole of the Russian portion of Ukraine. It's about 20% of the country, and formally recognize Russian control over that region, as well as, of course, Crimea. For Russia, it's absolutely non-negotiable that the entire international community must recognize Crimea, Sevastopol, the four annexed oblasts of Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, Zaporozhye, as fully and permanently Russian territory. The Trump peace plan would do just that. It would recognize these regions as forever Russia. Ukraine's military would be capped at approximately 600,000 troops, and the country would be required to place in their national constitution a ban on ever seeking NATO membership. Again, something that Russia has for the last 3 decades proclaimed as non-negotiable for Ukraine. And that move alone effectively removes Ukraine from the Western security architecture that for the last 30 years has sought to geographically surround and politically and economically contain Russia and dramatically limit its geopolitical power. In turn, Russia would agree to security guarantees for Ukraine, including some form of international monitoring, most likely European nations. They would bear primary responsibility for peacekeeping forces rather than American troops. And Ukraine would be allowed to enter the EU, not NATO, but the European Union. And by agreeing to that, Russia would receive relief from the vast majority of Western sanctions.